All right, if you guys remember a few videos back, I promised a camping trip in the old Ford, and I absolutely plan on delivering upon that camping trip. So what we're going to do is prep the old Ford and get it ready to go camping, because the old Ford hasn't been out camping in probably 3 years. So it's not set up to do anything. It's just a basic truck that I now just use for running around and doing errands in. So we got to get all our gear together. We got to figure out what we're going to take, what we're going to steal out of the van, what we're going to dig through in the shop, and also have a new tent that I'm going to be using on this trip with a wood stove. So we've got a lot to do. Let's get into it. All right, so you see all this garbage here on the ground. This is typically stuff that would be now sitting in the old Ford, but I've been leaving it here in the shop so that I could keep the back of the old Ford empty, so we would be ready to put all this crap in there. All right guys, so this is my new tent and sport cot. This is a product I actually bought myself because I knew I was going to be out tent camping, and the fact that I have become weak in my old age and gotten so comfortable sleeping in my nice comfy bed in the van, I wanted to make sure that on my tent camping trip that I was going to be nice and comfortable. So I actually watched a bunch of reviews on this, and I picked this one mainly because A, it's big enough for me. You probably saw me laying on it. It's huge, massive amount of space, but it also has this little mechanism here which helps you put it together and make sure that everything's nice and taut. So I'll kind of demonstrate how that works so you guys can see. And then I also bought their sleeping mat. This is just their universal sleeping mat. We'll go over the top of that, and then of course I'll bring my bedding and everything like that. So I should be super comfortable inside the tent. All right, so I have to admit, this cot is really big. Sometimes when you're thinking about dimensions and looking at dimensions online, it doesn't really come through to you. I was mainly concerned about the length because I'm 6'4", and I wanted to make sure that my ankles weren't sitting on this bar, which they don't, and I love that. But I guess I wasn't really thinking about how wide this thing is. I'm really hoping this thing's gonna fit inside the tent that I've got. All right, folks, so this tent is from RBM Outdoors. Full disclosure, they sent me this tent, so we just get that right out of the way. We're gonna give it a try. I thought it'd be fun to go out and do some tent camping because I had such a good time out on the river rafting trip that when this came across my email and they were wanting me to try it out, I just thought it would be a good time and a little bit reminiscent of some of the more old school videos I used to put on the Primal Outdoors channel. But what really made this tent really interesting to me is it comes with this little wood stove. So this is going to be great for winter camping. I really think this is going to be a tent that's good for like hunting camps, fishing camps. This is going to be really cool. It's nice that they bring it with this wood box that it comes in, but the things that are really standing out to me right now is the fact that the tent itself came in a really nice bag that feels like has plenty of room in it so that it shouldn't be too hard to get all the stuff back in. But before we start putting the stuff back in, we need to get the stuff out. One of the things I wanted to accomplish today is actually set this whole tent up out in the yard so that way I can check everything, make sure we have all the parts and pieces to set the tent up. And also, I'd like to burn a little wood in the stove before we go ahead and put it in the tent. right, guys, well, I've got everything kind of set up here. Now, obviously, this is just kind of getting things out, seeing how things are going to work, and I'll make adjustments as I go. And I'm sure once I get really using the tent and the cot and the stove and, you know, all this gear out in the field, a lot of things are going to start kind of changing. Now, the one concern that I had with the cot fitting, it does fit. It's definitely takes up a lot of space in here. I think I could have got this cot in a narrower version, which might have been a bit smarter, but admittedly I do like all the space, so I'm just gonna make it work. I'm just gonna make it work because I like all the space the cot has, and I think it's gonna provide for a very comfortable night's sleep. It's just gonna be me in the tent. I think there's still plenty of floor space in here for me to operate, and I've got storage underneath the cot, and I'll have space to put stuff behind the cot as well. It'll be nice to be able to kind of sit here by the stove and be able to load it with firewood. It does have some space back there where I guess you can do some cooking, but I am going to bring a gas stove as well. All in all, I think this is pretty cool. This is not the review of this tent. I should probably point this out. I am going to review this tent, but right now I'm just trying to get things laid out, and I've got to figure out some other gear and some things that I want to take, because this is going to be probably a 3-night, 4-day trip, and I want to make sure I have everything that I want to make this a fun trip. All right, so one of the things I'm working on right now while I'm waiting for the stove to burn out is I am just making a list of everything that I think I need to have. I already have one I had made for backpacking, so I just copied that one over, and then I'm modifying it, and it's really kind of opened my eyes to things that I wasn't even thinking about before that I need to make sure that I bring along on a 3 to 4 day trip. So now that I've got this, I think, pretty well situated, I need to go out and start figuring out the old Ford, cleaning it out and getting some junk out of there that's just been sitting in there, and then, you know, start thinking about packing a few things. Now, for long-time followers of the channel, you kind of probably remember a very long time ago, I did a back seat delete in the old Ford. Well, I had since given that back seat delete to my friend Scott and went to go put the seat back in, but I don't have all the hardware. I need to get new hardware. And I don't think, if I'm going to use the Ford, I don't think I want that back seat in there. I need to do a bunch of cleanup, but I think I'm going to want to set something up back there to better utilize that space. So I know my buddy Scott's probably going to be laughing right now, but I think the seat's going to be sitting in my shop, taking up space again. I don't know. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that thing. All right, guys. So as you can see, we are running out of daylight fast. So I'm going to go over a couple quick things with you, and then we're going to call this video an end. So one thing is this. I would really like to take this, but here's the reason why I'm not going to take my IceCo, and it's because it comes with a cigarette lighter plug for DC operation, and I cut that off, and it's now hardwired into the van. So I need to come up with something, and I just don't have time to set up something to where I can easily move this over to the truck. In the future, if we do more of the truck, I am going to set that up. This is going to come with me. This is my garbage. This is how I'm doing garbage. I learned this from Jimmy, Captain Jimmy. If you guys saw the river rafting, you got these nice little lids. This is my garbage. I can close everything up like that, and then I can seal it. I really like that. So that's going to come with me. Jackery 1000, not coming with me. Jackery 2000, coming with me. That's what I'm going to bring. That way I have plenty of power to charge cameras, charge drones, all that stuff, charge cell phones, which is charging right now. So I'm going to bring the 2000 with me on this trip. Generator, not coming with me. But what is coming with me is back there. There's totes. I got recovery gear, that's going to come with me. Even though I don't have a winch, if I got stuck and somebody else came along, I'd at least have a static line for them to pull me out. So that'd be good. I'm also going to be bringing my chainsaw. We're going to bring shovel and axe. So that means we got to bring fuel, bar oil, and of course I'm going to bring camp lantern. And then of course, since I'm not bringing the refrigerator, I'm just going to bring my Yeti cooler, which sucks because man, I want to tell you what, once you go refrigerator, it's hard to go back. But like I said, if we do this more often, I am going to set up a way where I can just easily move the IceCo JP50 back and forth between the two rigs. But right now it's just not going to work out. There's going to be some other odds and ends, and in the next video where we're actually out camping, I can go through some of that stuff in a little bit more detail. Like I said, we're kind of running out of daylight. I'm kind of starting to feel the pressure of not having enough stuff ready to go, and I want to get out of here pretty quick tomorrow because we got a lot of stuff we're going to have to do as far as setup and getting ready. I still got to put the stove away. The tent went away really easy. That actually went pretty well, especially considering the fact that it was only my first time putting it away. I don't think things are going to be perfect by any means. The Ford's not really well set up for this. There's a lot of things that I wish were better or different, but we're going to make it work and we're going to have fun. So anyways, I hope you guys kind of enjoyed this video, a little behind the scenes of getting ready. If you did, please do give it a like. Got any comments or questions, you can leave those down below. I hope you're looking forward to this little 3-night, 4-day adventure, and we'll catch you guys again outside.